This is a quick video to highlight some of the value prop that the Coalesce platform brings to your team. So some of the things I'll highlight real quickly here are increasing delivery throughput via automation, how Coalesce helps with change management and getting a real solid picture of the impact of changes that are being made by your entire data team. Really what this boils down to is helping teams deliver faster and mitigate risk. In this growing world of AI, both data teams and the business are using it more than ever, and you really need that solid data foundation. I think we can all agree on that. Coalesce is really a great way to do that. So I am here in Coalesce. I am a developer now. Let's say I have a new data source and I need to deliver a dimension that my end users can begin consuming. I'm going to come in here, and as I start building, one of the most fundamental things about Coalesce is we are working with this idea of templates, which are essentially architectural guardrails. So instead of free-form SQL or Python or just developers doing whatever they want to do, Coalesce introduces standardization that enforces consistency amongst your teams. And this could be iceberg, dynamic tables, incremental pipelines. I'm going to build a real quick incremental pipeline here where I'm going to start building these things out. I'm going to hit create and run to start running that code. I want to add a staging layer on top of that. This is where I'm going to persist some of my data. And then finally, on top of that, I'm going to build a dimension to track changes on some of these things. And I can configure it where I tell Coalesce, this is my customer ID. I want to track changes on the first name, last name, the marital status, and children count of my customers. This looks good. I'll hit create. I'll hit run. It's pushing all of this code down to SQL or to Snowflake. So there's no concept of vendor lock-in here because at the end of the day, this is just code that's being generated. As I look at this, though, here's my merge statement. I have 1,000 or so lines of SQL. Yes, Coalesce is generating this, but more importantly, as you have a team of hundreds, potentially 1,000 developers, identical problems are going to be solved identically. So if a developer has this task of building this dimension, the result and the actual code that is being written is going to be identical every single time. That's really paramount to how Coalesce works. You have complete control over these things. So you'll notice the naming conventions were enforced. These were automatically built in different layers of, in my case, a medallion architecture. So you'll notice these things were automatically built in my bronze layer. My dimension was built in my silver layer. Again, you control the architecture. Your developers abide by it. So it helps people deliver fast, but it's doing it in a way that is not going to bite you in 6 or 12 months when you have a pile of tech debt. Now, for another example here, let's say I have this larger pipeline and I need to make some changes. I have an inventory weight, or store weight that I need to figure out what's going on. Here's that object here. I'll click on that. I can see where it is. Great. I can identify it in my pipeline. As I begin to investigate this, I can see here are all my columns here. I want to figure out, is there a logic issue here or is it somewhere else in the pipeline? Coalesce makes that really easy with its built-in column lineage. So I can see upstream, downstream, the impact of things. And I'm going to see that here. I can see exactly all of the transformations that it's gone through. That's helpful, but I'm really concerned about, okay, I need to make a change. I can see here's all the downstream impacted objects. Let's say I come in here to add this new column, and we'll call it new column for lack of a better name. As I go back to my lineage here, it's not just lineage for looking at the sake of lineage just to look at it. It's actually interactive lineage. So I can propagate this downstream, push it all the way throughout my pipeline, wherever I need it to go. And instead, again, of having to take on that task of manually going one by one through each of these objects or each one of these mappings and figure out where to change it, Coalesce makes that really, really easy to push that change downstream. So we've talked about speed, we've talked about this change management. Obviously, there is an AI component to Coalesce like any other tool. Again, the key with all of this is that it's backed by this concept of node templates. So if I were to come in here and do something like, say, build a type 2 dimension from customer and track first and last name changes. If I were to go into ChatGPT or Claude or whatever tool to generate this code, if I ask the same prompt 10 times or 5 times, I'm going to get 5 or 10 different answers. In Coalesce, because we are backed on this whole idea of standardization, you're going to get the same answer every single time. The same code is going to be written in Snowflake. And that really is one of the biggest keys, is that you're de-risking your data platform by enforcing this consistency, enforcing the standardization, while at the same time delivering significantly faster than alternative approaches in the market. So that's all we have here today. Just wanted to highlight again that speed of delivery, that change management, really de-risking things and building a solid data foundation using Coalesce. Thanks.